Walt Disney World has such a range in their value resorts. So if you're heading there and trying to decide where to stay, keep watching to learn a little more about two value resorts, Disney's All-Star Movies and Disney's Pop Century. These are both great resorts, but join me today as I give you some information to help you decide which one is best for your family or maybe just best for your next trip. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get a notification when a new video comes out. Our channel is growing each day, and I'm so thankful for all of you who have been subscribing, liking, and watching. Again, thank you. Anyway, my family has stayed at both of these value resorts, and they each have their perks for sure. If you haven't been to these resorts, I'll give you a quick overview of their style. And like I said, they are both value, so they are on the less expensive side of Disney resorts. Pop Century is a decades-themed resort with sections ranging from the 50s to the 90s. The fun decor gives you throwbacks to fads and fun from each decade with larger-than-life decor. All-Star Movies is movies themed, just like it sounds, and each section features a different Disney movie from classics like Herbie the Love Bug and Fantasia to the very popular Toy Story. You should definitely take time to walk around and explore these resorts and just look at all the giant decor that they have. It's so fun. Alright, let's start diving into these resorts a little more. Pop Century and All-Star Movies both only have a food court and a pool bar for your meals. The food courts have all the necessities such as burgers, fries, pizza, and more. If you look at these menus as you're deciding, you will notice that they are very similar but may not be identical when you're there. Both Everything Pop and the world premiere food court sometimes have desserts to match one of their resort themes. But overall, you're going to pretty much get the same food options. If you've watched my videos before, I always say that the food may or may not matter at your resort depending on how often you'll be at the parks. If you'll be at the parks a lot, you may not eat at the resort at all, but I still want to make you aware of what the resorts do have. One huge difference between the food courts is that Everything Pop is larger. There's a lot more seating, but there are also a lot more rooms at Pop Century. All-Star Movies is quite a bit smaller, so the amount of seating is a good ratio to the amount of rooms that it has. The pool bars are similar at both resorts as well, and have alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, plus some quick meal or snack options for you if you're spending your day lounging around at the pool. These are located near the main pool and not too far from the food court and lobby. The Silver Screen Spirits Pool Bar is actually connected to Cinema Hall at All-Star Movies. Both resorts also have a gift shop right next to the food court, so you won't miss it. The gift shops are stocked with Disney souvenirs as well as anything that you may have forgotten at home. Everything Pop is a lot larger though. It's about twice the size of Donald Duck's double feature, and you have to walk through it to get to Everything Pop dining, so be prepared. And I guess while we're in the vicinity, the main hall of each resort contains the front desk, restrooms, an arcade, and bell services. Everything is right there and easy to find. By the way, Disney is currently refurbishing so much of Pop Century, so if you go there by next spring of 2026, the lobby will look a lot different than my footage. The entire resort should be done getting refurbished by then. These resorts actually have very similar rooms, but like I said, they are updating Pop Century, so these rooms are going to be a little more colorful. They were extremely similar to the All-Star rooms before. At both Pop Century and All-Star Movies, the majority of rooms at these resorts contain one queen bed and one queen pull-down bed, but some have one king bed instead. For both resorts, online you'll see an option for standard or preferred rooms, but this simply refers to the location of the room. The inside will look the same, but preferred means you'll be closer to the food court and transportation. At Pop Century, you're also given the option of pool view for your standard or preferred room. Speaking of pools, there are 3 pools at Pop Century and 2 at All-Star Movies. Again, Pop Century is a lot larger, so it needs a 3rd pool to accommodate more people. Each resort has a main pool, which has louder music, activities, and games going on, while the other 1 or 2 pools are considered quiet pools because they don't have any of the activities going on throughout the day. I would say that the 2 greatest determining factors for you as you decide which resort you want to stay at is the cost and transportation options. Even though there are a lot of similarities for these 2 resorts, there is quite a price difference. I chose a random week in January of 2026, and All-Star Movies is $160 per night, while Pop Century is $248 per night. That's an $88 difference per night, which can add up pretty quickly if you're staying for a week. However, I think the next determining factor affects the price difference between these two resorts. All Walt Disney World resorts have free Disney transportation, which is so convenient as you head to the theme parks or Disney Springs. The most common form of Disney transportation are the buses, which will take you anywhere you need to go and are available at both resorts. But Pop Century also has access to the Disney Skyliner, which can take you to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You can watch my video here to learn more about the Skyliner, but this mode of transportation is extremely convenient and is a huge time saver. It's constantly moving, so you just hop on and head to where you want to go, rather than possibly waiting almost 20 minutes for a Disney bus. One final difference between these two resorts is the possibility of sports teams or youth groups staying at your resort. I know this is a huge deal for some people, so I wanted to make you aware. The All-Star resorts are the least expensive of the Disney resorts, so it's not surprising that if there's a cheer competition in Orlando, this is where some of the teams may be staying. Please take this into consideration as you make your decision. That's the basics of these two resorts. Where should you stay? My opinion is always do what's best for you and your family when going to Disney, so I hope this has been some helpful information. I would recommend asking yourself a few questions to help make your decision though. Number 1, are you on a strict budget? Make sure whatever you decide is good and doable for you. Number 2, is there a theme that you like better? Maybe you have a kiddo who is obsessed with 101 Dalmatians, or maybe you have teens that could care less. Number 3, what theme parks are you going to? Both resorts will take you on a bus to Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom, so if you're only going to these parks, it doesn't really matter where you stay. But are you mainly going to Epcot and Hollywood Studios? Maybe you should consider staying at Pop Century for the convenience of the Disney Skyliner. And number 4, my final question for you is, I always want to ask this, are you going to be wishing you had made a different decision while you're on your Disney vacation? What does your gut say about where you want to stay? Are you going to regret spending the extra money or wish you had? So that's a few questions in one, but they all stem from the first. Will you be happy with your decision or regretting it? Again, this decision is totally up to you, but I wanted to give you a hopefully unbiased overview so you can make the decision that's right for you. Here at Optimistically Disney, we always want to stay optimistic yet honest. If you were going to one of these resorts on your next vacation, which one would you choose? Let everybody know in the comments. They are both excellent resorts. And at the end of this video, I will link the playlist to all of my Disney World resort tours for you. Pop Century and All-Star Movies are both in there. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching Optimistically Disney, where we love all things Disney.